Hello everyone, I'm going to try to record this without the distraction of a leaf blower in the background. I am moving along with my album, and I'm using this picture, which is a close-up of my husband putting my ring on my finger at the ceremony, and it's black and white, so I liked that because then I could just go with any colors, because I had a design in mind that I'd seen on Pinterest and a couple of other websites. So this isn't my own design, it's just a mixture of a bunch of people that have done something similar to this. I'm just cutting down that Cartbell wildflower paper, and it's a distressed wood look. It reminds me of like a deck that needs to be redone. But I really like this. It's not a very bright color. It's very pale, so that will work well with what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to mat my picture with it. And I have such a problem cutting things. I just put a new blade in this cutter, and it's still not so wonderful. So I might have to invest in a new cutter, because it takes things quite a while to go back and forth. So I just wanted to share with you. Yesterday I had an idea for a layout reminder. I made like 3 videos doing the idea. I just didn't like how it came out at all. I wasted like 3 times working on this, 3 hours like working on this layout that just didn't work at all. I did it 2 times, and then finally I just quit. So I'm like, I just need to get inspired, I guess. So I looked online today and refreshed, and usually I just sit down and come up with my own design or something in the back. You always see something that just remains in your head, and you're able to build from an image and make it your own. What I'm doing now is I'm using this gray watercolor, and I'm going to totally freehand a circle around this picture. So I'm going to do it a couple of times because I want it to look a little bit like not stitching, but not so perfect. I think if it was perfect, it wouldn't have worked out as good. So it has a few lines there, but the circle came out pretty decent. So I put that around my picture, and what I'm going to do is this is the focus of this layout is basically this circle. I'm just going to build around it with all these little pieces that I have, and I'm using this heart punch to punch some hearts from that same paper that I used to mat my photo. And I'm just going to start building on top of this circle. So the circle is kind of like my wreath, and when you make a wreath, you start with like a circle, and you just build. You add flowers or whatever you want to do, decorations. So this is pretty much how I'm doing it. I'm just going to keep layering and building, and I'm going to dig into those that cup and that little tray of little embellishments and sequins and stickers and all kinds of things. At this point, my heart punch broke, which stinks because I like that little guy, but that's not too expensive. I can always buy a new one. So there's one of those glittery heart stickers that I've used throughout my album. And I have this red heart button it was a wood button that I add. I'm being pretty liberal with my colors here because, like I said, that picture's black and white, so I can use whatever colors I want. Adding some buttons, and I'm going to use these wood veneer feathers from Studio Calico. There's a giant yellow button. I just want it to look, colorful and pretty. I had the title in mind already. I was going to use that Hello Sunshine sticker, but it's just too big. It didn't work for me. And I'm going to put it back. And I'm going to start pulling like the older embellishments. I'm still working on this book from the Dear Lizzie, probably one of like her first collections. And I'm going to use this circle sticker right there. It's got some hearts and it's a pretty color, like a minty green. It says lovely on it. So basically this whole video, you're just going to see me building this wreath, this circle of embellishments, but I'm not going to adhere them down, just in case. So you can have a lot of fun with this kind of layout. You can get through a lot of those little bits and pieces you have and get them down and out of your stash. And that flower on the top, is that a flower? On the top, on the very top, there's a gray, that's a mini doily that I got from Michael's one time. And I'm going to lay that down with a heart on it. And I have these little tiny heart brads. and a sticker with a butterfly, and the stars and the butterflies from the Dear Lizzie Polka Dot Collection sticker pack. And I'm just using a lot of circles. I'm trying to stick to certain shapes. So I've got circles, hearts, stars, and a few butterflies. And then I have those feathers, which will only wind up using 3 of them. This sticker is from the 5 and Dime collection from October Afternoon. It says You and Me. So the leaf blower actually stopped. That was good. The noise was so irritating. I feel like they start blowing leaves at like 5 in the morning. It doesn't stop all day. I'm always hearing it. I've noticed that a lot of these recordings I've done recently, you can hear background things very easily. I didn't realize how strong this microphone is on my computer. So I'm just digging, right now you can't see me, but I'm just digging through a trunk that I have behind me that's full of sticker sheets and letter embellishments and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just digging through there looking for things to add to the layout. And I'm taking quite forever. Okay. So I pulled out this as a chipboard set from Crate Paper, and I don't remember the collection name, but it's really cute. And there's this like chipboard rosette. It was really pretty. So there it is. If anybody knows the name of it, I forget which one it was. And I have a little flower cluster. And I'm going to use this basic gray. I got it primarily for those silhouettes. I was like, oh, I'm going to use these in my wedding album. And I haven't used them yet, but eventually I'm going to incorporate them into a layout. And that piece just says Dandy, maybe. And I liked that little scalloped flower thing. I'm just looking on the sheet for any more circle items or hearts or stars. And some of these from the Sundrifter collection, they're like circles that say words, and one of them, this blue one says love, I think. I don't remember what this one says. It was pink. You'll see it in the end picture. So everything is not pretty much permanent. Like I said, I'm not gluing anything down, and I'm not really pressing the stickers down. I'm just lightly tapping them so they kind of stay in place, but I can always move them around because I want the circle to look, I don't want it to look off, like heavy on one side and not on the other. So I'm just keeping them floating there, and the brads I haven't put in or anything like that. At this point, I had this, when I was cleaning, I found this tiny little stamp that looked like a hand-drawn star, and I wanted to add some, I never stamp. I've gotten rid of pretty much all my stamps, and I have this box of stamps. I don't know why, I just can't get into it. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to stamp this little star stamp in gray here and there on the wreath, but it does not work because I don't use a block for it. I actually use my hand. And I wind up covering up some of the stars that I stamped. And I also take out that date stamp over there from Smash, but I don't use that either. So while I'm scrapbooking, I usually have my computer off to the right-hand corner, and I usually watch other scrapbooking videos. And I've actually come across a great number of scrapbooking videos, but there are a couple of people on YouTube that I watch. And I also wanted, while I'm doing this, stamping these stars, which I won't even use, I just wanted to say hello to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate the subscribe. And I've been watching a lot of people scrapbooking. There's a woman named Katie Scott that she does like 60-minute videos. You go, because I don't think I could do that. But I enjoy leaving that on while I scrapbook. Oh Snap Gonzo, Crafting Kate, Mila Bono, Love My Ella. Actually, she changed her name, I think. So, Amy, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. I also watch vlogs. Mel's Chaotic Life, I believe, and a whole bunch of people. If I'm not mentioning your name, just remember that I watch you. And I'm just brain farting. I can't remember things. So I'm just applying more little like doodads and bits and pieces. I'm adding these black hearts to even out some of the black that is showing up in this circle, like in lettering on the sticker, and the black and white in the photo. I don't put that down, that's too much black. I'm sorry if this is just redundant, me just putting things on around in a circle, but like I said, this is the main focus of my layout, is this circle. I'm putting these enamel dots down from Studio Calico. Those I press down, I just figure I'll leave them. Eventually the video cuts out, and when I come back I have glued everything down, because I figured, like, I'm going to take a picture right now just in case. I figured that if it'd be pretty boring watching me glue everything down after I placed it down. Just adding more things. I was going to keep that bottom part open, and then no, I didn't. I decided not to. But I do keep that top part open for my title. Sorry about the big breaks in this video. I just was really digging through things, trying to find stuff that went. So that's from another crepe paper collection. It was like a vintage French label. And that's that. I know I said I was going to start doing some pocket pages for my wedding album, but I realized I only have a certain kind of pocket pages in my craft room, and they're just, I don't know. I wanted ones that are more, that have more sections and more pockets than the ones I have, so I'm going to have to buy a pack eventually. And I also was going to start scrapbooking other things besides my wedding photos, but I just figured I might as well keep going with this theme and get it done with. So here I've come back and everything is glued down, and I even have painted those veneer. I'm just showing I painted those veneer feathers that gold. And now I'm going to use this flower punch, and I'm going to punch some flowers. And I think it was Miss Laura, if you're watching, if you can see that little blue dot right there, that's a thumbtack, and I used that for my dad. So thank you for the tip. It was such an easy tip, I don't know why I didn't think of it, but thank you for recommending that, because it worked really great. So I just stick that in my desk over there so I can keep it for when I need it. And I'm just gluing these little flowers here and there. Also, when I'm scrapbooking, I've been catching up on what's coming out for CHA. I don't buy all the new stuff as soon as it comes out. I work with what I have, and then, you know, when I have a little bit of spending cash for that sort of thing, then I'll pick up some things. But usually they're sold out by then, and then I have to wait. So I usually wind up getting all the new stuff next season when the next CHA comes along. But leave a comment down below and let me know which is your favorite line or lines from CHA. I love to hear and see. So now I'm going to do some splattering, and I'm not sure what color, and I'm going to go for this light blue, and I wind up mixing it in with the green. I do mix my watercolors right directly in the palette. You know, this is a cheap watercolor palette, so I can always buy a new one, but I've had this for like 2 years now, and I'm getting good use out of it. I'm just splattering some blue, and I'm getting it on the embellishments. I really don't mind. Some gray. And I think that's it for now. If any of you have a channel that you like to watch, recommend it down below. I'd love to hear it and take a peek. Been finding more and more process videos and more scrapbookers on YouTube, and I think it's really great. I used to be primarily a blogger, but I really like this interactiveness of YouTube, and sharing the whole process is really fun. Because a lot of stuff I get inspired from other process videos, and I incorporate it into my layouts that you may not notice, or you do notice. I think a lot of us on here do that as well. And it's just more interactive and fun, and there's some really great people, getting to know people on here and talking, and I've enjoyed it. So I'm using these print shop letters to spell. It's going to say I do. But I want it to be a little bit more scripty. I was looking through my collection. I didn't have any stickers or letters that were, or like I saw Amy Tan has stickers, or Zero Lizzie that look like script, and I would have liked those. But I'm going to do, it's going to say I do, and then in these Sundrifter scripty pink letters, I put love you. So it says I do love you. And I like the way that flows with that circle. My pictures today at the end came out good, in my opinion. I was able to actually go outside and do them on our front porch because it's really sunny out and it's not that cold. So I'm pretty much done with this layout. I feel like it's missing something, and that's me tapping my fingers thinking what it's missing. And I'm just going to take a very small paintbrush, and I'm just going to take that gold, and I'm just going to paint a frame around the whole layout. And I really like how that completes it and incorporates more of that gold in, because I have thrown gold in with the sequins and the feathers. And I don't think I need to journal on here because the picture pretty much tells the story on its own. And a lot of my wedding pictures, I'm not really journaling on the pages because it's pretty self-explanatory, unless it's something that was candid or... So there is the end result, and here's a close-up. I hope everybody has a great day.